Welcome to Give Me 5 minutes with Fort Smith City Director Neil Martin, where we talk about the events that happened last week and we look ahead to what's going on this week. Let's go ahead and jump in. On March 5th, we had a regular board meeting. Wasn't a long agenda, wasn't a ton on the agenda, but important nonetheless. Let's just touch on a few of the high points. We agreed to a 5-year lease for city offices down at 623 Garrison. That's the same building the city's in today. We approved a contract, a $1.2 million contract with Crawford Construction for Carolan Cross Park Greenway and Boardwalk. A really exciting project down at Carolan Cross that will extend the walking, running trail into the woods. It'll be a nice overlook at the Arkansas River. So a pretty cool item there. We approved a contract with Crawford Construction for restrooms at Fort Smith Park. These restrooms have been damaged since the flood in 2019, and there was some back and forth with the Corps of Engineers. We couldn't get on the same page. We finally got that resolved, and so those restrooms are going to be replaced. For most of the items, we were 7-0. All the things I mentioned, we were 7-0, 7-4, 0 against. One item we did not agree on, and that was an item 6 that was requesting the Board of Trustees of the FCRA to answer questions of the 4 beneficiaries of the Chaffee Trust. These are questions about timeline for closure, how much land is available for sale, how much money's in the bank, all those kinds of things. And it's, in a lot of ways, it talks about or speaks to the frustration that I sense between the board and the FCRA. And, you know, there's been, over the last few months, there's been a lot of frustration expressed by the board. And this stems a lot from communication the board has gotten from developers out in the Chaffee Crossing area who've expressed frustration to the board about the way things are being handled at the FCRA. So it's been a thing that's been regular coming to the board. And so we just had questions of the FCRA and the other beneficiaries, Sebastian County, Barling, Greenwood, had questions of the FCRA that we wanted to get answers. So we did get answered via email right before the meeting, and I don't know if the board seems satisfied with those. I'm speculating here, but it didn't feel like they were satisfied, and we are still requesting the FCRA trust or the trustees of the FCRA to come and speak to the board and address some of these things and have some dialogue about it. So more to come on that. We were 6-1 on that. Director Jared Rigo voted against it. So 6 in favor, 1 opposed. This week, we do not have a meeting. Actually, for the next 2 weeks, we don't have a meeting. Next week is spring break. This week, we've got some folks that are out. So we're not going to have a meeting for the next couple weeks. Maybe next week we'll do a Give Me 5 live and address things via email, or that have come to me via email, address your questions live. So look forward to that. We'll kind of play around with it, see what the technology allows. You never know what technology is going to do for us. So we'll try that out. Anyway, that's it for this week's Give Me 5. I hope the information was informative and made you better aware of the items that are in front of your board of directors. Anyway, we'll do this again next week on Give Me 5.